Welcome to the Nerd Party.
I'm Darren Moser.
I'm Philip Gilfus.
I'm Daniel Prue.
And this is City Alpha 3.
Hello and welcome to City Alpha 3, a Star Trek podcast here on the Nerd Party Network. I am Darren Moser and am joined, as always, by my fellow strandees on City Alpha 3, Philip and Daniel. So we're on the eve of new Trek with Star Trek Picard Season 3 here. Our good friend of the network, Aaron Harvey, got to go to the premiere at the Chinese Theater, which is awesome. Cool. I think there's a picture on StarTrek.com with him. He said this old bald guy stood in front of the picture and kind of ruined it, but that old bald guy would be Patrick Stewart. So not really a ruined picture. So for those of you, both of you outside of the Hollywood sphere, how has your week been? Philip, off in the UK, and don't you bring up Doctor Who. We're talking Trek right now.
Today I finished my rewatch of Picard Season 2.
Yeah, I never have to do that again.
In my life, ever again. That happened. And I sent you my appropriate questions. No reason to go over it. We've gone over it before.
Less questions, more why in this part of the plot.
Because there were we're not going to go, but there were things where they didn't do that. But no, they did actually address it, but it still doesn't make sense. But anyway, it's interesting. I just watched today after I finished rewatching Season 2 because I had not seen the newest Picard trailer, and I thought to myself, no, I'm not going to watch it just because I like to go in a little cold for this one because it's getting so much good buzz. But I was like, I'll watch it, which I don't think I really left with any spoiler. I don't recognize, I vaguely recognize the actor who plays, I guess, the Titan captain, but I can't remember where I remember him from. But anyway, it'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to it. As far as anything else, no, this is coming up on a week off for schools here in the UK. So I'll have to figure out, do I just want to play it cool and go into Star Trek Picard Season 3, or do I want to attempt to start Enterprise? I don't know how I want to juggle my rewatching now that there's a new series.
Does the UK have a very British name for spring break? Because I feel like they would.
Well, this isn't spring break, and then we just still probably call it Easter break, to be honest. But this is a term. I don't know, whatever they call it. It's called something, but basically it's midterm. But yeah,
okay.
It's not President's Day.
Yeah, what's this superb owl I heard y'all are celebrating over there?
Yeah, that joke's been around a while, but you either watch the game or you don't. And like they say, the trailers will all be on YouTube in the same moment. So,
oh wait, is that today?
Yeah, that's today.
Okay, I didn't even know.
At the time of this recording, the superb owl is taking flight. What about you, Daniel? How is your Trek rewatching going?
Good. We just finished the episode. I'm not going to remember the name, but it's the Ferengi episode where turns out Quark's mom, Moogie, does she have a name? I can't.
She does, but I forget what it is.
I can't remember. Yeah, it's discovered that she's in a relationship with Grand Negasek, and giving him all of financial advice and all that sorts of stuff. So it's a very Ferengi episode. It was fun. Those Ferengi episodes are actually usually really good or usually really bad. I would put this one kind of in the middle, but it was decent and it was fun to see Ferenginar and Brunt, of course.
How many? Because it's not a small number. How many Moogie episodes there are? Maybe 5. It feels like that. It's the first one.
I would think so. Yeah.
And then there's this one, and I feel like there's 2 or. I don't know, but it's just surprising how much they go to that well. It's not a complaint per se, but I think there's as many Moogie episodes as there are Mirror episodes.
Not in Deep Space Nine. There's definitely more Mirror episodes.
But, well, I remember I just saw an interview with Armin Shimmerman and he was talking about that era and just, what was he saying?
Ishka is her name, by the way.
Ishka, okay. Yeah.
He was talking about like the tone being set by the first actor on the call sheet, and that actor being Avery Brooks. So he's like, we were very serious. Like, we didn't laugh a lot. He knew he's kind of comparing it to like the other, Treks and their kind of familyness, but he was talking specifically about the Ferengi, and he said that through all of DS9, that whenever there was a Ferengi episode, where there's going to be a lot of Ferengi involved or new Ferengi, that he would have once they got the script, he would have like a weekend at his house where they would all come over and they would practice the lines and really drill just to be able to bring those characters to life, especially because of all the prosthetics, because you're wearing prosthetic teeth, you can't really hear because your head is encased in foam rubber. And so anyway, it was just an interesting kind of, had never heard that particular story, but just about them wanting to make sure, like, as the director and the other actors are doing their thing, that the Ferengi are never the weak link of the aspect of an episode, or at least in the filming aspect, that they were always able to bring their A game. I'm like, that's very professional.
It reminds me of, and I'm going to forget names and everything, but in Galaxy Quest, the aliens,
Thermians.
Yeah, that those actors like just built it on their own, and then they trained all the extras. Like you said, it was kind of like just that same thing.
How did Thermians walk? How did they move? How do they?
It wasn't necessarily the director saying X, Y, and Z. It was just like, we got it, and then we'll take care of everyone else. And then
yeah, maybe I could see Michael Dorn or someone like pulling aside new Klingons, being like, okay, these are the pitfalls. This is how you go about talking, and this is what a Klingon would and wouldn't do. And
is this how you talk with each chief?
Well, it kind of makes me think of that episode where many of them go undercover as Klingons to the Klingon homeworld, and it's really weird seeing O'Brien and Odo and Sisko in Klingon makeup. It's like, wow, that's like Sisko pulls it off. Sisko is it's terrifying Klingon. Like, I look at him and I'm like, I've just run the other way. But
by the way, Daniel, same exact number of episodes. I looked it up. Moogie is in Family Business, Ferengi Love Songs, The Magnificent Ferengi, Prophet and Lace, and The Dogs of War. And the Mare episodes are Crossover, Through the Looking Glass, Shattered Mare, Resurrection, Emperor's New Cloak, 5 each.
Man, it feels like so much more. It feels like so much more.
See, that's a final Trek Jeopardy question. Like, which has more, mirror episodes or movie episodes? There's a question.
Is there more saucer separations or warp core ejections?
I like that.
And not
in all of Trek, I think.
And we're not counting blowing up the Enterprise in Cause and Effect, because that just is a loop that throws off our numbers.
Technically, the saucer does separate, but through a different procedure.
By the loss of the star drive section.
Was it like the Yamamoto? That's what I'm thinking of when they do the explosion. You just see that.
It was the Yamato.
Saucer going,
where it just gets propelled forward and then it blows up. It's like, whoa, man, that's bad. that's not good. I was watching. I don't remember what I was watching, but there was like some explosions of stuff, and I'm like, okay, I know you're on a budget, but it literally looks like you just put an explosion effect over that. Like, it doesn't feel like the thing is actually blowing up, but I'll let it slide because, but anyway, well, I've been watching some TOS era Star Trek movies, and those movies being Star Trek 2 and Star Trek 6, as we're talking about Nicholas Meyer over on my other podcast, House Lights, where we talk about directors, and sometimes we'll look at a decade of their work. Sometimes we'll focus on a franchise or a character. But it got me thinking, even though we are just like I said, on the eve of Star Trek Picard season 3, the next generation, wrapping up all of that. That if we were to instead, because it happens, guys, it happens in Star Trek a lot, where they're like, okay, we're ready for this season. Actually, instead of 10 episodes, we're going to give you like 2-3-ish amount of time, and you got to put in a movie. So not to say we have to limit ourselves to the Picard story plot, but what I wanted us to kind of bat around the writer's room was the 5th TNG movie. So we've had Generations, First Contact, Insurrection, and Nemesis, which we all remember Nemesis because we watched it last week. Thank you, Daniel. So yeah, if we were to get a 5th TNG movie, could be set anytime after the 4th TNG movie. That's all you got to do. I'm very flexible. But what would this movie be called? How would it be covered? What would everybody do? Does someone get knocked out and think they're an admiral? There's all sorts of funny things we could do. That as Daniel suggested, this might take us a while just to come up with the name. Maybe we should do the name at the end once we know the actual plot.
No. You do the name first, and it has nothing to do with the movie. Everyone knows that.
That's literally the worst advice I've ever heard, Philip.
You thought they did the whole story, and at the end they thought, you know what? Star Trek Beyond.
That is true. That feels like Beyond. I mean, nothing gets Beyond, but Beyond kind of feels like the placeholder name that we'll come up with a better name later, and then they never do. But not that it's bad. It's just generic. It's not. Then again,
well, what would you call it? Star Trek Idris Elba?
Snow
Star Trek
Globe.
Yorktown?
You could do Resurrection. Rediscovery. Because it's all about because they're.
What was Idris Elba's character called again?
Angry guy.
Angry guy. Wrath of Angry Guy. That's perfect. We love the word wrath in the titles.
Star Trek. We try writing a good one this time.
I mean, I enjoyed Beyond.
No, I thought we tried writing a good one this time. That's what it was.
That's not a good title, Philip.
But so this is. I will not. I will go by what the group decides. Is this like 4 years after Nemesis, or are we making it now?
Yeah, well, I would say
because the age of the cast
I have the same. That's true. Yeah, that's true. I was going to say the same kind of question, except for framing it as: are we still on the Enterprise E, or have things moved along?
This is my thought, because this is all hypothetical. We can do whatever we want, but
do whatever.
I'm thinking. Imagine go back in time and Star Trek V just came out and it was terrible, and you're like, okay, you get one more shot, right? So Star Trek, the original series got one more shot right after Star Trek V with Star Trek VI, and they knew what they were doing. They said, okay, this is going to be a coda, exactly, a smaller story, a character-driven story. We're going to do like a final send-off. Some of our characters may have, like Sulu goes off and does his own thing, but he's still a part of the story. So I say we do the same thing right after Nemesis. We come up with an idea where everybody gets to do something, and then
I like that. And we had already kind of started the ball rolling for that with Nemesis, as you remember when you made us watch it. They, I don't
have a gun to your head, Darren. I'm not your dad. You can do what you want, man.
Riker and Troy are now on the Titan, so that's going to be the case. I doubt. I mean, we could do it, but I don't really want to. Worf is back from the Defiant them, and like, do you still remember how to sit in the second chair, Will? Like, no, we don't. That doesn't sound interesting, but I like that. I like that thought of it's the coda. It's maybe 2-3 years later at most, like physical time, and they're all young still and can play. They still want to play these actors. Younger.
So I'm assuming it is Captain Picard on the Enterprise E still, which I love the E, so I don't have a problem with that. Though, stop me if I say anything wrong. So here's a question, and Daniel, I know this is your favorite question. What is Brent Spiner doing?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. You have to do with that.
That is the.
If we're going to set it 2 years,
B4 was left hanging. So right. I mean, I'm just saying, but we could do whatever you want.
What I would say is give Data B4 a reduced role in the movie. He is not like he got his own movie, man. So
we're treating him like Dr. Crusher in a movie? Is that
kind of? Yeah. This time we don't focus on Data or B4.
What?
Whatever.
It can't be a Star Trek movie unless we focus on.
We just don't. He's in the movie, of course. It's B4. Yeah. It's give him like 2 years of development. Say he's like maybe he has emotions like straight up from the get go. So Brent says yes.
Does he work in the Enterprise E10 forward? Like he's not doing a real job, right?
Make him the pilot.
Well, this was my instant just thought with B4 is even though it would make more sense for B4 to go off to like the Daystrom Institute or some place where there are people who know how to deal with androids, we're going to keep him on the Enterprise E because it's Brent Spiner. So it makes me think of some of the episodes with the Doctor or with Seven as they were kind of like developing more consciousness. We could again keep him in a reduced role, but occasionally we'll see he'll get like one big scene where he's on the holodeck and he's kind of in his daily
whistling.
Well, he's sorting through his memories and his moment. And we have a holographic representation of Data, who's also again who appears, and he's kind of like guiding B4 through unpacking his mind. And it's like he does this daily. And so
I thought you were
you could even bring in Maddox, bring Maddox back and he could be stationed on the Enterprise. Like I'd be cool with that.
He's still alive at this point. So
yeah. Well, he is.
Because I could, again, we're not pushing the B4 story as a Data story, but it'd be interesting how he's integrated. Like, I don't think he's in Starfleet. He's in like Seven in a body forming jumpsuit. Because I assume that's the non-Starfleet people are always wearing, regardless of gender, right? And so, which is fine. You can have him be diagnostic engineer 4, whatever, it doesn't matter. But it'd be funny if Geordi has taken him to one of Data's programs. So they're doing the Sherlock Holmes, or they're doing the Force whistling. Like, because I don't want to like fanfic too much, but like,
I like the Sherlock Holmes idea. Yeah,
because maybe you want to build who's B4's relationship, because he has to have someone. And so if Geordi might be where he's kind of like Geordi's sort of not guilty, but sort of taken B4 under his wing to be like, I feel like it's my responsibility now. Data would have wanted.
Right. He's treating
B4's messing it up though, and so you can have a little.
It's just I was just thinking it would be so funny if Geordi asked the Enterprise to create an adversary that could defeat B4 and like it materializes a bowl of pudding or something.
Yeah. It's like, darn, I shouldn't have tried to rob the bank that was literally beneath 221B Baker Street. Oh, you got me, Holmes. You got me.
It's just a Chinese finger trap or something.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and again, I think like we have to do something with B4. Obviously, he doesn't have to be the main focus of this movie's plot, but yeah, I like the thought of Geordi helping, or maybe even, that would have been. I still like my idea of Data, holographic Data, like helping B4, but you could also change that up and have it be holographic, a program that Maddox wrote. So you bring Maddox as well. You don't have to do the double Brent, because Brent is just B4 in this, and you get the same. So it's like he has his daily holographic subspace communications with Maddox, and he checks in, and it's kind of like a therapy session sort of thing.
Back to Maddox, he's like, what is this crap that he's sending me? It's not even like Data sent good letters. What is this?
Yeah,
I've hoaxed the thing with the thing, and
Data, I'm strange. Again, we don't want to make him sound like he's an imbecile or something. But,
and it's been 2 years, so let's just say that he's still
he's teenage.
He's a child.
Yeah,
right. He's juvenile-esque, but he's still like he's not.
It's like
moody.
Groot. It's literally like Groot. It's like Groot came back and slowly developed into adult Groot,
Right.
but he was not adult Groot on the first episode after.
Mm-hmm.
But again, and I can't stress this enough, this is not an important
No.
element of the story. It is literally just character stuff that's in the background. So that's fine.
So
I think that's
do we,
good.
I mean, you tell me no, but do we need to go through the roster? So obviously Captain Picard, who's first
Still
officer.
captain of the first of the Enterprise E.
Who's
Well, do
the
we make-
XO?
Do we make Worf
I
XO?
mean, that's-
Because he becomes captain at some point anyways, right? So
I mean, I'm fine with it. Commander Worf.
It makes a lot of sense. Yeah. I don't remember where this lines up with DS9.
There's nothing.
at this point,
Nemesis
yeah, it's
is the
well
end of
after.
Star Trek.
It's well
Okay,
after.
that's
so,
true.
yeah, yeah.
There's
That's
no more
true.
Star Trek
Okay.
after Nemesis.
So he brings his commission back. He looks good in red. Honestly, I would think after the experiences of DS9 Worf in red as in the number one chair, I think it'd be awesome to see him take control and really kind of finally stomp down the trope of, Worf gives a suggestion from the back of the horseshoe and then it always gets shot down. It's like, no, granted, Shax did it amazingly in Lower Decks, but
Well, he's
I'd love-
going to be shouting down the ideas now.
That's what I was.
So-
I would love
Yeah.
some moment because, of course, I'm sure there has to be some Picard action scene where so Worf is literally in command of the Enterprise, as the first officer.
he sits down. We hear that da 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 da. For
But
some
like
reason, I don't know why we would hear that, but
And I forget his name. I mean, he was in for 2 movies, but the tactical officer, the blonde guy, I can't remember his name. But anyway, gives a suggestion, and Worf just spats him down, and then just like a very tiny.
it's like suggesting we eject the warp core. That's crazy.
Yeah. No, we will not shoot phasers. We will be, what a ridiculous suggestion. Who would say that?
We will not shoot first and ask questions later. What are you talking about? Okay. So I think, honestly, it's also the fact that I can't think of who else we would put in the first officer chair besides Worf.
Because this being the final movie, how many new characters are we in? Obviously the bad guy or girl, it could be the new character, but like how many new other characters we want to be introducing?
I would say any new quote unquote characters are just going to be characters that we bring from any other show. We could bring them from Voyager. We could bring them from DS9. I'm not saying this has to be the DS9 crossover. We're starting at DS9. Let me just put it that way. Like the mission will start at DS9. Why not?
I like the first 5 minutes are like, well, I'm glad Captain Sisko's back. Anyway, let's go
Just
on our
circle.
mission. Like, are you gonna explain that? No.
Look, you get Data development or Captain Sisko development. You can't have both. Okay, so first officer is Commander Worf, who's 3 pips. We don't have to do the boat sequence. He's just commander. Yeah. We don't have to. It started out it's like it bookends with Generations, where it starts on the HMS Enterprise for some reason. Okay, so we got Picard. We got that. I guess just to tick them off the box, we know that Riker and Troy are on the Titan, so we know where they are.
Yep.
They're
With
There's
more
2 ships.
they're doing their first sensor sweep of the neutral zone or something.
I realize it is copy and pasting, and so this isn't very original. But the first scene could be at the Titan. It's almost like Star Trek 6 with the Excelsior.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
So like whatever kicks off the story.
I'm all for copying Star Trek 6, not beat for beat, but
It's called Homage.
Oh
It's
my
very
God.
very different than ripping it off. So
I don't know if you've seen Into Darkness. They did a lot of homaging.
oh boy,
I'm thinking the title of this podcast is going to be called "It's Called Homage."
Star Trek Homage.
That could be
Star
the name of the village. We are the Homage. Oh yes,
the Homagians.
You look just like the Andorians.
Yeah, they're a little too on the nose. Okay, I like that. So we start off with the Titan at Deep Space Nine. They're doing. No, I'm just kidding.
That's funny.
But yeah, we have the Titan, the Luna class, and we're just seeing. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to very quickly. They're in the Gamma Quadrant, and then something happens, and then they go through the wormhole to escape, and that's of your teaser.
I see. So we see them, and for some reason they're stationed in the Gamma Quadrant, which it's like, why not? Because we want them to go through the wormhole and end up at DS9. So it's 2 years later. So he's firmly in his command. We're going to get season 2 level episodes of Titan and crew.
Titan and crew.
And I think we should have Will play him just like he plays the lower deck Titan captain.
As the saxophone on the bridge.
Yeah, he's got the trombone there, and he's
Sorry.
in the... Sorry, just turn in your card right now.
I know.
I'm sorry.
I know. It's completely different.
But, that's how he cues up warp is, in warp in 5, 6, 7, 8. Like, we need all of that. All of that needs to be in this movie.
Just without comment, can his helmsman on the Titan have purple hair? Just that we're not going to... nothing about it.
That would be a big leap forward, I would say. Yeah. But sure, why not?
We don't have to comment. Just there's an ensign who has very, very pale purple hair. That's it.
Yes, we can. Again, we're just literally taking everything from Lower Decks and putting it on the big screen. But okay, so they're off exploring the Gamma Quadrant.
When X happens, we don't know how to
X
do
happens.
X.
They get called back, and maybe there could be something where that purple-haired ensign is like, okay, should I plot a course to the wormhole? It's like, well, we're not going the long way around.
Very Riker thing.
Yeah, it's a very Riker thing.
It's a very Riker comment.
Of course, we're taking the wormhole, but why would you? Of course, we're putting out. It's like, well, let me just call up Admiral Janeway and get some tips on how to cut down that journey. Oh, look, there's a worm. I mean, that's like an asshole. But he wouldn't go that far. But, okay, so then he comes through. I think we'll know more about what they are doing.
Yeah, it's just skeleton bones.
Once we know the actual plot and the villain. Beverly, let's not forget Beverly in this.
Where do we want her to be? On the Enterprise? Somewhere else?
Well, we don't technically, since that scene was cut in Nemesis, we could just save ourselves from some time and just have her be on the Enterprise. And she's just there.
I feel like already having Troy and Riker off ship, I don't want to keep adding more people to that off ship list.
What's the state of things? Because with 6, I mean, they were going to be decommissioned and everyone was basically retiring. So with Star Trek Homage, where is the Enterprise E crew? Is everyone just like, hey, we're cool and we're staying, or is someone getting ready to move on? And
oh, I see what you're saying. What I would picture in my mind,
have a ship lined up next, because
that's
get ready to go to Utopia Phoenicia,
I mean, I would say something has happened in the intervening 2 years that kind of extends the life of the Enterprise on this crew on the Enterprise E, and their we could still talk about transitions because that's what Star Trek movies love to talk about, and there could literally be other main crew that are going to be handed the Enterprise E at the end of this mission, and they are getting brought up to speed, because it never really made sense to me that the captain shows up one day and then it's like, peace, I'm out. Maybe you could reflect on your military experience, Philip, but is there some sort of overlap and bringing up to speed, or does that literally not happen?
Yeah, they got left seat, right seat ride. I mean, usually the outgoing commander and the new, takes
although
the new
we've
commander around.
implied that Worf gets this command, so maybe there's no point in having that.
So let's just say that Picard is getting promoted.
Okay,
he's aware that he's going to be,
and Worf is going to get the center seat.
And Worf is going to get the chair.
I like that. Keep
and
it.
So this is already. Let's just say he's been aware
at its finest.
Let's just say he's been aware.
Oh wait, so the new captain is your Chadich. Just happens to be your Chadich.
I can almost see the running joke, and he doesn't have to be, of this movie is everyone keeps trying to call him Admiral Picard. He's like, still captain.
Wait, still.
It's not official until
there's 4 pips here. Just
it's like, it's not official until I go to we finally reach the starbase or whatever. So then at the end you get assuming you survive.
So let's just say this is a sort of a training period almost for Worf.
Yeah, there's a handoff period,
right?
Where he's sitting in the center sometime. Oh, that could be kind of cool when we first see the Enterprise and Picard comes in. They're like, captain on the bridge, and he sits in the second chair because he is captain, but he's playing it, or there's a moment where he has Worf sit there and he's like, well, you're going to be sitting there, on Tuesday, whatever,
Oh,
give another
of course
Tuesday
it's
reference. Of course, it's a Tuesday.
That's a nice homage you got there, Darren.
Yeah, it's all about homage. So yeah, okay, it doesn't have to happen in the first scene, but some scene he comes and he makes Worf sit down, and Worf could like adjust the chair a little bit. It's like he pushes like the buttons on the side, and it's kind of like it goes up a little higher because he's got a bigger frame. Like he needs a little more higher up support.
Well, these settings haven't been changed in like 4 years.
Yeah, but Picard's kind of like looking up, kind of at him. He's on that little dais right there in the middle. And then Worf kind of leans forward on one elbow, and you can tell like he's like, yes.
Yeah, so like, let's just say that they're
all those years without a chair.
They're on their last mission right before the official handover, and then of course whatever happens to the Titan pulls them away from what they're doing.
Right.
So you could make what they're doing like a reference in some way to something.
And so you're not decommissioning the Enterprise. It's literally just a chain of command, but it's a chain of command to someone we know. So we're not like, oh, the Enterprise is gone. It's like, no, it's the Enterprise would not be decommissioned, but 2 years later, it's still a relatively new ship. I mean, I know Starfleet does that, but yeah.
And do we don't have to. Do we want to track anyone else? In other words, like, is Beverly still going to be like,
okay,
at the end of
back
this
to
movie,
Beverly.
Is she going to still be CMO, or is she moving on with Picard? Are they together?
Here's my idea. Like, let's say that it's going to be an entire crew change. Like they're going to do they're going to bring the Enterprise back to dock. It's going to be spruced up. What's the word I'm looking for?
Refit.
Like a light refurb.
And like you can see throughout, like Worf is still putting his new crew together. He's like, who do you think I should have for chief?
We could get a scene where he asks Geordi officially to stay on. Like that'd be a poignant scene. Like I'd like to see them. They kind of like the scenes we've had in. I don't know why I'm blanking on the episode name, but the one where Data gets the scene with Worf about like leadership and all of that. Same
I think so.
impetus. But yeah, we get that instead. It's Gambit. Why do I
was going to say, I had to think about why is everyone gone?
Totally forgot. Yeah.
But do we want Geordi to stay? Or do we want him to move on?
I think like he would want to move on though. Wouldn't he?
He's been doing the same job for a long time now, is my point. And
he can do anything he wants. He could go write his check. He can be a shipbuilder. He could
go leave. You know what we could do? We could have him go leave to start work on the jellyfish stuff. There you go. He's got a project.
Or at least work at Utopia Planitia and something like working on. I mean, that seems like that's where he would kind of go. Yeah. Be full on Commander LaForge. Mm-hmm. And, because I was trying to think like.
I mean, it'd be an interesting scene. Again, I'm fine with doing a whole character movie, but I'm sure we can't do that. But like of Worf and Geordi either in 10 Forward or somewhere where Worf's doing one last pitch. Are you sure I can't convince you to stay? And I'd love to, Worf, but it's time to move on.
Yeah, I feel like if we do it that way though, like same thing with I would want everybody to leave except for Worf. Like basically everybody's moving up in some way. So the Doctor, so Beverly also,
and Worf is kind of clinging to the familiar,
right?
Which but they all have good points for leaving,
right?
And so we're not upset with them.
This is skipping to the end, but I'm like, who's young enough that you could bring on at the end? Like that's who Worf has chosen, like Lieutenant Kim or Lieutenant Commander.
Well, that's
Kim,
what I was thinking too. Who could we have, or we
just replace them with other characters from other shows? I mean, like I'd be all for that.
Yeah. I would. I mean, that would be kind of fan servicey. Nog.
Good.
What if we create a new character that's just like a lieutenant and Worf's like uncertain about making him XO or whatever, but then by the end of the movie, that way you have somebody new, fresh blood, and Worf like doesn't like him at first or whatever, and then you just sort of.
I'm almost picturing like full on. This is full on fan service, guys. Like to the nth degree. So. Like you end up with Nog, Harry Kim, the Doctor, you replace, new CMO, and like, you have new characters, but like it's a kind of a who's who of these other moving up, and they get the Enterprise. Like, I think the characters would like that, but I don't know. It feels
I'd
very
rather have Bashir than the Doctor. I think that would be cooler.
He's
And
running
they know
search
each
for
other.
intelligence. So.
They've already met. Yeah, that's true.
That's true. They do. Oh, that would be kind of cool. Him asking Bashir, but he's like, "Have you had enough frontier medicine, Doctor? Are you ready to settle down?"
It'd be interesting who, because it doesn't have to act. It can either be a line or it can actually be the person at the end. But who would Worf want to pull from DS9 for the Enterprise?
I mean, I could see Bashir. I don't know who else. I don't think bringing Ezrian would be really messy.
I don't think O'Brien would want to come back and be chief engineer. That doesn't really feel like his deal.
I mean, Nog is not a bad idea.
No,
Nog is the easy choice.
But you can't have him be commander. You can't have him.
Lieutenant Nog. He could be
Nog.
Yeah.
He could take
in the front.
He could take Data's position.
Yeah, I think that would be
fine with that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, Jadzia's dead. Thanks, DS9. That would have made way more sense. Like Mrs. Worf and like comes along, but no, thanks DS9 for ruining that. But
what could Morn do on the bridge?
He's running the 10 forward.
I mean, you don't have Quark.
Worf's like, I have someone like that could be Picard's advice. Like, this is going to sound weird, Worf, but it really matters. You have a 10 forward.
He really listens.
And Worf's like, I do have someone in mind.
Yeah, because I mean, Kira's not leaving. There's no reason for her, even though she's in Starfleet.
It's a gray area.
Yeah. She has one of those Bajoran pips on the collar. Doesn't count.
I say let's leave it at Bashir and Nog, and then we introduce some new character that will
I
be
could see
his
Bashir going again because Worf knows him, and Bashir could have a line about frontier medicine and being like, like things have come down and I'm kind of ready for the next adventure. He's like, imagine a station that moved and win a new place every week. It's called a Starship.
Bashir, isn't he still with Ezri?
I mean, whatever. They broke up. It's been years and years.
They gave him a year.
We're gonna homage to the end of Star Trek 4, where Kirk is supposedly in some sort of flirtatious relationship with Dr. Gillian Taylor, and you've got your ship, I've got mine. We are your ship, mine shipping Ezri and Worf, and we're not going to worry about that.
Yeah, you can because it doesn't matter to me because it's just a line. You can do the fan servicey thing that.
Or sorry, not Ezri and Worf, Ezri and Bashir. That's what I meant.
About Ezri, which reminds me of the beginning of Star Trek 6. Because in Star Trek 6, you remember, like, oh, where's Sulu? And they're like, oh, Captain Sulu. And so Worf could be to, like, Julian, like, and how's Ezri doing? He's like, you mean Captain Dax? On assignment. And then,
Wait, how is she captain?
She is in the books. Don't look at me.
But that, okay, true.
But this is all just at the end, right? Let's just say that right after Picard, we get
Bashir does not show up until the last scene.
It's just the last scene. Like
the new crew is onboarding.
A runabout comes in. It's got to be on a runabout, and the runabout pulls into their main shuttle bay, and we see the main shuttle bay and a runabout. So everyone's just doesn't even matter who walks off. Everyone's already happy that we're seeing these ships and locations. So yeah, I like that. And we're gonna get the same end shot of the bridge pulling out of the bridge shot where Worf is in the center seat, and we have Bashir and okay, so if Bashir is coming, so that means Beverly is leaving. Yeah. Do we just want to ever leave with Picard? And
they could both go to Earth, right?
Yeah,
she'll be head of Starfleet Medical, so that would be presumably on Earth, right? Starfleet headquarters or whatever.
I think so.
So whether or not you guys want to do the love thing or not, they can at least go amicably.
I think it can be and you could read it both ways because they'll talk about like, oh, we're still gonna, and they won't say it this way. We're still gonna hang out, like, oh, I'll see you for breakfast.
I'm just a transporter beam away. Yeah.
I'll see you at breakfast, next week. Yeah.
Or maybe she could say something. Or she could say something like, kind of like, what was it? When Cisco was on Earth and he would like commute from from his dad's place
to the academy. Yeah.
To the academy. Same thing. So she could say something like, "Oh, I've always thought of myself as transport commuting to San Francisco," and then Picard be like, "Oh, where would you be staying?" He's like, "I was thinking France." And
you just leave that.
Exactly. It's all implied. It's an homage to who has a winery, who I've known for many years.
So what about Geordi? I mean, I know we kind of talked about it.
No, that's true. I think it'd be really cool. Have him go to,
they tried to make me put in gel packs into this thing, but I said I don't trust them.
Well, have him go to Utopia Planitia and maybe take Barclay along with him.
Barclay, yes, there's your new engineer. That's who Worf is worried about.
Oh man,
Geordi's like, no, so Worf, I'm telling you, Worf, I do not trust that man.
Like on the bridge,
he's a silly man.
The captain referred to him as a vegetable, and you want me to make him the chief engineer
of the Enterprise.
That's good. Yeah, let's give Barclay a little progress too. Why not? That'd be fun.
I mean, but we also had development of Barclay in Voyager.
Yeah, he was in a lot of Voyager. More than you think. This is a Moogie situation.
Moogie, yeah.
There was, and here's the thing too, right? So there's which episode is it where he gets a nth degree? Maybe is it where when he gets super smart and gets ultra competent?
Yeah.
Like you can put him more on that end of the spectrum now. Like he's gone through therapy with Troy, and like he's like more confident in himself. He's a
savant in his engineering prowess. It's just he's never been a people person, and he's had to learn.
I mean, he's the hero of Voyager. He's brought. Not.
He's like walking along a corridor with an ensign. Well, would I help bring the USS Voyager home? Like that's his go-to line. Okay. You guys have sold me on Barclay. Barclay's there, and maybe Lieutenant J is still, got
just there,
just there.
Lieutenant Commander J. Well, look, I mean that's the problem. Or the challenge.
She's like tactical now or something.
Well, I'm saying we don't have the front seats we have to put people in because if Data's gone and our helm's middle.
Nog
is going to be in one of them
from the beginning.
Oh, no, not in the beginning. A good question. I mean,
it could just be two people. Yeah,
2 people. Okay.
2 people that don't put Adam Scott in one of them. There you go.
From the Defiant.
Yeah. Well, one of them being
it's an homage, Philip. That's what it is.
One of them being like, because in First Contact, it was just a person, like in that second seat.
You mean
Data.
Hawk, Lieutenant Hawk?
Yes, he was just a person. Yes, he was just a person. He's not a main crew member.
And now he's just a Borg.
Yes,
so.
And now he's just a dead. But so there's that. Who else would we put in the other front chair?
I mean, I wouldn't have no problem with Nog there in the beginning. I mean,
sure. Why not?
Because you're going to have, if Troy and Riker are not cameos, but almost just, you only have so many characters that you're playing with. And it's like Picard, Worf, Geordi, Beverly. That's 4 people.
Well, so what I was thinking, the inciting incident. I don't know if it's going to like cripple the Titan or whatever. But I assumed that they would come on board the Enterprise, or at least be alongside the Enterprise.
I think this is a 2-ship mission, which is fine.
Like 2 ships go in different directions.
I mean, we talked a lot about the very, very end, but we have to remember
the
bulk of this movie,
Calvary.
Well, but the bulk of the movie, though, like Beverly and Picard and everyone is still there. No one's left. They're all still doing their jobs,
right? Yeah. But what my concern is, like, where, like, are Riker and Troy going to be off ship the whole time?
I would say
so. Okay,
off ship,
but
I could see about
on a ship. Yeah,
but about like halfway. I mean, I want to see them more in the movie than we saw the Excelsior and Sulu. You know what I mean? Like, I want him to play a more, because the Excelsior was like a support ship at best of that mission, and I want this to be like, again, this is what Star Trek does really well, like in Star Trek 4 and many of where it's like everybody has like their role and they kind of split up. So maybe Troy and Riker, and maybe they grab Geordi or someone else from the Enterprise, and then they go on mission A and go off in here and do something, and then we have mission B, and then they all come together for the last third and attack the whatever.
Well, and again, I know we're all hesitant to be too fanficky, but there's nothing to say there can't be a person on the Titan. Like, in other words, Commander Tuvok is their tech. I'm saying you can have,
right.
And so then there's 3 people we know on the Titan.
Right. That's true. Okay, so let's take that for a second.
Starting to get a little small university, but
hey,
Tom is the helmsman of the Titan.
I was gonna say, like, do we bring Tom? I was thinking Thomas.
Can't pick too many.
Are we bringing Thomas back somehow?
Thomas Riker.
Yeah.
Oh. No. That'd be complicated.
So much. 2 Datas and 2 Rikers. No.
I am a mirror to you as well. Yeah, because I was trying to think the challenge for Troy. She always gets lost in the mix. And then I was going through stuff she could do, but it was still sort of like, an identity to someone else. Because it's like, okay, well, maybe Riker's going through some crisis because of the villain or because of the circumstance. And so she's playing counsel, but that's wife. That's not count. She's counseling the captain, but it's a wife. So then I'm like, well, who is she? How can she stand out? How can Deanna stand out? I
think Deanna needs to be, the HR person that Chakotay never was. Like, she is, we see that she is so connected with the Titan crew and like just mitigating issues before they even before they even reach Riker, like, because that's a good point. Like, she needs something to do, but it's like, if her main skill is counseling and married to the captain, like, we need to flesh that out more.
I know this is gonna sound like I'm helping her, but it almost is diminishing her. Like, do they have a kid now? And then, but I don't want to be like mother, and that's who she is. Right. But I mean, I don't know.
I was thinking like maybe she could, for whatever reason, like Riker's son on the bridge or whatever. So she's dealing with the villain or whoever it is. And because of her like high emotional intelligence and how she can read people, she could totally like string them along or trick them,
right?
Have some sort of heroic moment where it's just because of who she is that she comes out on top and like she gains the advantage at the end or whatever it is.
Yeah, that could work. I was just thinking as a possible substitution for our Bashir showing up at the end. What if we just make Nurse Ogawa CMO? Like, she's been with us the entire time. She could be a CMO by now.
I think it's fine. The only thing I always think about in real life, it's like, I'm trying to think of another example outside of the medical field. But anyway, it's like, every nurse, they really want to be doctors. I'm like, no, they just want to be, nurses are very good to be nurses. Like, they don't, they're their nurse. It's not a lowly job. You could be a very senior nurse, but you're still a nurse, you could be, that does not imply anything about your skills. But that's why it's like Nurse Nogawa. Because she'd be like an admiral nurse. Can be.
Right.
That's right. Yeah.
So,
yeah. And not that we have to. I'm just thinking of another person that,
Dr.
I think
Salon.
fans.
Yeah, bring her back.
But, all right, let's see. Okay. So we're pretty covered. Yeah. I think I like the idea of Beverly going back to Starfleet Medical, but again, she hasn't yet. We're all still on the ship, so it doesn't really matter. But
I was also thinking, I would encourage a woman, but it doesn't have to be. The Star Trek villains, whether they're good or not, it's always A-list casting. Whether it ever works out,
right? But
it's always, Tom Hardy, as we discussed, he was young. But still,
right.
That is a pretty good actor. Now, whether he, but even F. Murray,
whether he had enough to work with, yeah.
But F. Murray Abraham, very good actor in Insurrection, may or may not have worked out. I'm blinking at Malcolm McDowell, very good actor. Alice Krugman, I didn't know her before that, but of course, I would say of all the villains, she was actually probably the best as the Borg Queen. But that's mine. But anyway, I'm saying Star Trek usually cast even TOS and Kelvin, they A-list cast the villain. So I don't know.
That's true.
Who we would think.
From what year is this? 2004?
2004-ish?
Yeah.
So
anyone you know probably is set to it is.
Tom Cruise.
There you go.
Yeah. So like right around now you
makeup.
have Ian McKellen's free. He's finished his Lord of the Rings movies. Which honestly would be really interesting to see him play opposite of Patrick Stewart.
That's right. We would have shades of X-Men for sure.
Well, I was meaning more of their friendship, but yes,
Well,
that's true.
Yeah.
Came from X-Men probably, now that we think about it.
Yeah.
They probably wouldn't be allowed to do that, I imagine, but
anyway.
Star Trek. We could do whatever we want. No, yeah, it's true.
Well, guys, do we want to do Daniel's dream scenario?
oh boy. Don't say bring Tasha back or anything.
Ardra.
Oh, Ardra. Ardra would be great. I don't know,
is
man.
she A-list villain great?
Because you could recast. Well, you could recast. I'm saying the character.
That's true.
I don't know that
She was always a holograph, a projection simulation, even when she was down on the planet. She never looked like that.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe
Yeah,
you could
I don't know that there's
with the
enough
Dominion
meat on
or
that.
something. I don't know.
for a whole movie. I'd like the whole revenge thing. I don't know. I'm kind of over that.
Yeah. I mean, what if we just go back to basic Star Trek and the Enterprise E is
The only ship in the
helping a new planet join the Federation? And so you get some diplomacy, you get some answers to like that we've always asked about, like, well, how does a planetary government have to structure itself to be admitted into the Federation? Like, we can actually answer some of these questions. But there's still a threat, maybe a neighboring planet. Like, here's a question. If you have planet A, City Alpha 2, that wants to join the Federation, and City Alpha 3 does not, but they're both warp capable, like, now you have, like, this difficulty of it's not like the entire system. Like, can you have single planets from a system join? I don't know.
Where do you put the border?
All that to say is you could make you make the villain like the head of the other planet or their military commander or whatever. So then it's the point being it's not a save the galaxy scenario.
I'm fine with that.
But it matters about this planet. It matters about because and so Picard's given all these speeches about the Federation and what the benefits are. And
Darren, how many people does it take before it becomes wrong?
Exactly. So at
100?
the end, I mean, heck, you could. I mean, the casting's a little weird. You probably don't have to do it that way, but if you wanted to, you could deep dive back to was it season 1 of Next Gen?
You want the conspiracy?
No, I'm talking about the
drug
prisoner.
people.
No, the super soldiers and James Cromwell.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Oh boy,
The Vietnam story, basically.
Yeah, but you could have where that planet is finally ready to, join the Federation. Again, I'm not saying you do James Cromwell because I don't think Star Trek would do that, and that's a bit. You look just like Zephyr Cochrane. So that's a little much.
I'm wondering, and we don't have to solve it, but like but this being the final film, and you can still have that story, and then maybe an outside villain comes and messes everything up. Like,
either an outside villain or some other planet, within the system. I kind of like, but what are the consequences?
Well, in other words, from looking at all of Next Gen, which is in 5 seconds, right? Like, what is the consequences of Picard's actions as captain that are now coming? This is the Khan problem. Basically, something that may have been good intentioned or well intentioned, but now is coming back.
I mean, we kind of had that joke in Lower Decks with the drug planet where they're like, yeah, well, Captain Picard just kind of left you. He's like, yeah, and it was terrible for a while, but then we figured it out and it all worked out for the best. That's true. Yeah. And not that we have to deep cut and it has to be a planet that they visited before.
Oh, no.
But it could be, or it could not be. But I like that. Okay, so there's a connection there.
Yeah, and we don't have to flesh it out.
But okay, so the Enterprise is helping, and
SETI Alpha 2 and 3.
Yeah, and 3. Well, you could have also something like, what
Star
if
Trek,
the
SETI Alpha 3.
Enterprise
I like it.
is in defensive mode, where they're like protecting this planet from planetary bombardment or something, so they can't leave. So I'm starting to think of reasons for the Titan to also be there. So the Titan is now on offense and is trying to stop the source of whatever weapon this is, because if the Enterprise cannot leave orbit of this planet, or the planet's going to get nuked.
Mm-hmm. What? And this is again fan service. What if the outside villain or antagonist? Because I think one thing that was interesting about First Contact is they took a villain they'd introduced and they updated it, and now that's how we think of it. The Borg, which were like white guys in black pajamas.
We never think of. There was no queen in the original Borg,
but the actual look itself, just
okay.
Plus,
we have real money now.
What about the Breen? We've never really explored them, and what if you could have a second chance at reimagining them? I mean, I'm not saying don't ignore it, what we did, but like you now have movie brain money. Movie brain money. So you can actually see what's under that helmet, or not. I mean, I'd be like the mystery, but. Or the Tholians, or the Breen.
So maybe because the Breen are an Alpha Quadrant species, so they could have like a little tiny corner. I think they do have a corner of the Alpha Quadrant that's like their territory. That could be interesting. It also gives some tie-ins with and Worf's fought them, so we know. That's not a bad idea. What do you think of the Breen, Daniel, as being kind of a antagonistic?
You're in the DS9 world.
Yeah, I don't know really what their goal would be. I mean, obviously they worked with
That's
they worked with the Dominion, so maybe they were all upset about the peace or whatever.
Yeah, maybe they could try to be expanding their territory a little bit, like.
Yeah, you could do something there for sure. We'd have to see them. You can't keep them in those helmets the whole time.
Yeah, I'm all for.
And suddenly I forget his name, the guy who plays them out, Mandalorian.
It's Pedro Pascal.
Man, he's in everything. There you go. Casting a big name actor. There you go.
I mean, he's pretty young at this point, but it works, right?
I like kind of merging those two ideas of, like, again, the Enterprise is helping a planet into the Federation, but the Breen are also, like, again, an unexplored villain that we could actually flesh out, so we don't know anything about them. I think the Breen hegemony, like, it's a weird, governing system, but
for one of the alien planets, the head is Doug Jones.
No, Jeffrey Combs.
He could be the other planet.
But okay, I think that's a rough story for Star Trek 5. It's got to be good if it's Star Trek 5.
Homage.
Yes. Something where like they put a dash in there, like they're the Homage.
Yeah, there's a part where Picard is like, they're trying to figure out what to do, and like Commander Wolf, in these situations as captain, it's always good to have Plan B. Plan B. Picard's like, yes, B for barricade.
That everyone in the audience collectively rolls their eyes. Yeah, Worf could be like, well, for us, Plan B was the Defiant. So, but
you are not planning on ramming the ship again, are you, sir?
Yeah. Well, the Titan could be Plan B. Always at the ready
with its secret cloak.
Yeah, whoa! Who knew it could do that? I know in the future every starship's got cloaking devices, but in this timeline, they're a little hard to come by. All right. Well, I think we hit on all the main points. We didn't forget some major character that we somehow forgot. No, I don't think we did. Sometimes that happens, but I don't think this time. All right. Well, it's been really fun imagining the 5th TNG movie, but we don't even have to watch that because we're going to get the end of the Picard saga in Star Trek Picard starting next week, which we'll be covering week to week. Which I think will be really interesting, revealing our thoughts and how we like how the story's going, who's who and what's what. And we're going to get some old characters, some new characters. It's going to be a lot of fun. So if someone wanted to pitch a long Latin title for this 5th Star Trek TNG movie, Daniel, where would they find you?
Me, at One Up Dan, that's the number one, not the word, as in the number of words you can use for the title. Just one. You can't do 8,000 Latin letters.
Oh, one word title.
It's
Trek.
Homage. It's
No, Homage. It's just Homage.
Star Trek Homage.
Okay, yeah, you have to put in a colon, something there. And Philip, if someone wanted to talk to you about where Barclay is going to put his command chair, where would they find you?
I mean, I really want to know. He'll have to redecorate the pool table. They can find me at NC Public Servant. And he's like, I'm going to redo the power matrix. For some reason, I'm having 75% of the power go to all the holodecks. Just don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
I was going to say his entire engineering staff is holographic Voyager crew member.
It's, Worf is like, don't you need more engineering crew? Barclay's like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just going to be installing these holographic things.
What could go wrong? Like, well, what if the power goes out? It's the holographic power. It's a completely different
I was studying
system.
the USS Voyager. They actually had a separate power unit just for the holodeck, and I feel like that's something we can...
All right. Well, and if someone wanted to talk to me about Star Trek 5, you're crazy, they can go to drsci-fi.com, DRSCIFI. Well, I'm Darren Moser.
I'm Philip Gelfus.
I'm Daniel Prue.
Stranded here on City Alpha 3.